And blessings, everyone. Ah, blessings, blessings. It is such a gift to be here with you. Blessings and welcome. Welcome, everyone on YouTube and everyone at Instagram. It is such a gift and such a blessing to be with you here on this beautiful morning, the spring equinox, and on the heels, the cusp of the full moon, depending on where you are in this and on this beautiful planet Earth. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is my weekly live stream called 4D Trinity. It is here that we bridge fourth dimensional consciousness through the unity of mind, body, and emotions with spirit. Spirit is that part of you which is always and eternally whole, which is always and eternally one, and connected to source, rooted in love, and in the love that has no opposite, that which we call here God. That part of you that cannot not and never be fragmented. As we align the mind, the body, and the emotions with that truth of your spirit, you come into that divine alignment, that divine attunement with source, with love, with light, with God. And so you are carried. You are carried above and beyond the turbulence of this world, above and beyond the turbulence and the stories, the pain of your past. And you learn a new language of light. You learn a new language of healing and how to restore yourself, how to recalibrate your cellular memory through the initiation of self-love, through the initiation of spiritual growth. So welcome and blessings, everyone. Thank you for hopping on Instagram, and thank you for hopping on YouTube. This is my show, 4D Trinity. Every week I go live on Instagram and at YouTube, and I've been doing this for over a year on YouTube, my live stream, and this is, I think, only our third or fourth one where I've been integrating Instagram at the same time as YouTube. Once a month for my 4D Trinity live stream, I host this show, which is Ask Me Anything, How Can I Help? It's a Q&A show. People write in with all sorts of questions pertaining to sex, love, romance, jobs, health, healing, dimensional, timeline jumping, you name it. Whatever is your fancy and wherever your query comes from, I ask your permission to channel your higher self. And often I will be guided to use the Osho Zen Tarot. If you watch my weekly tarot, you are aware that those are my go-to cards. And this week, the little angel cards were guided to hop in with us as well. And I had mentioned in the description on both the posts at Instagram and at YouTube, if there is a longer question, that you can send it to the email listed below or listed in the description at the Instagram post or in the description at the YouTube show more box. So I just want to share a little something with you. This is massive. This is massive. Are you feeling this full moon? Are you feeling these shifts and these changes of seasons activating in you, within you, through you, and to you, and for the highest good of all? This is so very, very, very powerful, this passage that we are all undergoing individually and collectively at this time. And what I will say is, if you are doing your work, if you've been being honest with yourself, if you've been stepping in and integrating the shadow, working on behalf of your higher self to integrate your light body, to make space that the light body can be even deeper rooted, anchored, and established in your awareness, in your day-to-day practices. Well, what begins to happen? We know we feed the light body and we starve the tar body. That tar body, that shadow aspect, cannot survive, cannot thrive in an environment that is full of light, that is full of love. And the environment is your body, is this petri dish of this energy vehicle that you travel in through this planet and multidimensionally. We know and we teach here that we are multidimensional beings. And we keep it pretty basic. We speak about the physical, the mental, the emotional continuums as related to spirit. So I'm working on some really massive projects, and I'm sure you are too, right? And ultimately, the main project is the project of the self, is aligning with, again, love, and calling in all of those qualities and those values to help assist and serve us in our passages, in these beautiful, powerful passages. And what a gift that we get to share this divine passage together. So again, this is a new thing for me on Instagram. Don't be shy on Instagram. This is my weekly live stream 4D Trinity, but once a month I do this show here at 4DT, which is Ask Me Anything, How Can I Help Q&A. So if you have a question, a query about anything at all, you can DM me. If you are on Instagram, I will be checking. If it's a little lengthier, you can send it to the email. And I already see there's some comments up here on YouTube that I'll be getting to shortly. You can leave your question if you're on YouTube in the comments. I'm so very grateful, and I bless these communities. If you are new to me, and if you're hanging out and this message, these messages resonate, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. I really appreciate it. There are links down below at the Show More box on YouTube to all of my books and all of my offerings. Sign up at my website, the first page at my website. The link on Instagram is at my main page, and on YouTube, it's down in the Show More box. And you will receive my little book, The Higher Self Blueprint of Mastery, but also you'll receive my monthly love letter, of which I had a setback this month a little bit, so it hasn't gone out for this month just yet, but I'm working on it. As I was saying, I'm working on some massive, massive projects on behalf of love, on behalf of light, on behalf of God. And I know if that's a knee-jerk reaction to you, again, what we always say here is that God is love, and it is that love that has no opposite. It is not the love that is rooted in love versus fear. It is love and only love. It is love that is free of judgment, love that is free of fear. So when I say God, that's what I'm talking about. That power, that source, that energy has put some wind in my sails. And if you are like me and you are working on, guided to work on and to birth and be a co-creator in some projects, then you will be feeling this as well. This full moon, this shift of your energy that serves to align you with those appropriate frequencies so that those correct conditions can be created within you, mind, body, and emotions, that you create vibration power so that those instances, the right people, places, circumstances, opportunity meet you. They are added unto you. And so this is where I'm at. I'm excited to share more with you as we come out of this retrograde. So again, welcome if you're just hopping on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look at the Instagram and see if anyone has DM'd any information, any questions. Okay, and I know that one or two came in the email, and there's some offerings here on YouTube, so we're going to start there. Mike Brown says, if the ego is literally not inherently real and just an illusion, that, oh, I'm sorry, you know what? I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. What I want to specify here, you know, this is a rose quartz that when I facilitate healing circles, workshops, etc., this is the talking stone. So when we come together in community and we all share our peace or remain silent, we pass the talking stone. Now, besides that, this quartz crystal, it's a rose quartz, represents a rose quartz crystal cave. And I have mentioned this before, and I will just say it again, that when we do this work here on these 4D Trinity shows, because it is live and because we are connecting interdimensionally and through the webs and multidimensionally through all time and space, it is important that we contain the conversation, that we contain the energy. And what is divinely guided is that we imagine, right? And really what I do is I imagine this, but just to allow you in on this. And if you are a healer, a teacher, a facilitator, if this resonates, use it, you know, especially if you're doing live stuff where you're inviting in the presence of many others. It's very important to keep your space clean. And so we enter the rose quartz crystal cave. And it is here that we meet as our higher selves. It is here that we share in the revelations and the divine communion, in this divine gathering with one another. We'll take a breath and we will allow ourselves to relax into this now moment. I sign myself into the keynote of the aggregate mean of all those that are guided to watch this at any time and space and through all dimensions. May everyone who hops on, who is listening, or who requests a conversation, an answer to a question, may we all receive what we came here seeking. May we receive what we are looking for. We call in our angels, our guides, all those light beings who love us, and our animal spirit totems. We welcome you. We welcome you into this sacred, sacred space with us. I pray and I affirm that everything I share here truly serves the most high path of each individual's spiritual growth and sovereignty. All of the conversation here will be rooted in fourth dimensional consciousness, in that which bridges heaven on earth, and that which is rooted in love and light. And so with your permission, if you are guided to ask a question, I'm going to be connecting with your higher self to serve in answering, to serve in divining the most high messages for the highest good of all. And so it is. So thank you. Thank you for joining me, everyone. I'm so, so very grateful. So let's get back to this first question here on YouTube. If the ego is literally not inherently real and just an illusion that we made up in our belief of separateness, then what is it that is fighting for its survival once we begin to become more? With all due respect, Mike, if there's anything that's still fighting, and I know there's a second part to your query, which I'll get to, and maybe you've already figured it out and answered your own question, but just to offer that if there is still a fight going on, then the ego is still hard at hand. The ego still has its hand in the puppet of self, if you will. Okay? So where there's any fight at all to survive, then the ego is hearty and thriving still. Now let me go on to your second part of your question. Aware of who we really are? Question mark. And I don't know if this is a new paragraph or if this is a continuation of your first sentence. The fact that anything would be fighting to keep us in the illusion would imply that there had to be something doing that. Is that just a part of our own mind? So remember, we have these conversations, Mike, about the tar body. And the tar body, didn't I say I was going to send you a PDF on that? I'm so sorry. So you have to remind me of these things. There's so many things going on at the same time. So the tar body is the toxic twin of the light body. Let me get out our little drawings here. And it is that part of us, right? So if this is the light body, chakras, aura, calibrated, lit, as we say, right? And here's the tar body. Here's the shadow aspects. The hurt, the pain, the fear, the dread, the projecting of what's the worst thing that can happen, and the dwelling in the self-doubt and the self-sabotage, etc. Where that voice and those recordings that keep us bound to those cycles of energy, to those cycles of seeming reality, where that is weighing heavier than the no mind, than the no thinkingness, than the relinquishing of those aspects, then there's still work to do. We got some explaining to do, Lucy. So in that way, while we are on that path, and there are rings, right? There are rings on this path of healing. And what I always say is that there's these waves, especially when we are a sincere student, and I'm getting to know you, Mike, and I I understand that you are a sincere student of self, you know, self-discovery, spiritual growth. And you're healing your stuff, you know. We walk that path, and we face our shadow. We face those tar bodies. We enter the dark night of the soul, and maybe there's more than one. But if we are walking in sovereign and open and receptive to really, what am I here to heal? What is up, and how can I best meet that? How can I best integrate this healing that I'm faced with? How can I best forgive and heal this pain? Then what happens is you are given the grace, you are given the right tools, the divine time, space to do that work in. And as you do that work, you create a clearing in the cellular memory. You create a clearing through all the versions of you that exist holographically through all time, space, and dimensions. And so what happens then is that clearing, it's like a detox, is that clearing then like hits the reset button of self. And then you're free to coast, and I call it riding the wave. Then you're riding a new wave of self through the dimensions that you choose to exist in. And then so you're free, and you're going like, woo, okay, cool, I got this. I'm on this new vibe. I'm coasting. I'm being carried. I'm feeling this. I got this new clarity. I feel free. I feel clean. I feel clear. And then we bump into that next realm, right? Then we're cycling, and then boom, here's the next wall, or here's the deeper layer, the substrata, the subconscious layer of that ego, of the tar, of the resistance, the self-doubt, the fear. Because remember, and you know, there's these aspects of like, well, the ego is good and the ego is bad. But what I feel in relation to your question here is it's the antagonist in the way that, and please correct me if I'm on the wrong trajectory here, Mike, but the antagonist in the part that pokes us, the inner bully, right? That constantly suggests that we should doubt ourselves, that constantly suggests that we are not enough, and that people or the world are out to get us, and that we should be suspicious, et cetera, et cetera. That's the tar body. That's the inner manipulator. That's the inner politician. That's the part of us that when we're clearing the light body and we're healing ourselves, the tar body does not like that. The shadow likes to be undisturbed in its petri dish. It's using you, right? It's a parasite. It lives off of our fear. It lives off of our anger, our jealousy, our greed, anything that is polarized, judgment, anxiety, stress, self-doubt, self-loathing, self-hate, suicidal tendencies, especially those that are rooted in fear and in pain. That's that quality. That is the tar body. And so again, you heal these certain cycles. You're coasting. You ride that wave of enlightenment, and you're woo, and then smack, right? The wave crashes, and you're like, oh fuck, here I go. Here's the next level. But it's not a oh fuck, here we go. It's a oh thank you, here we go. I'm gonna go in because I am being honest and integral with myself, and I see and I honor the work that I've done up until this point. And now I see where I am being shown this next level of healing. So we pray, we meditate, and we ask our higher self, how can I go deeper here? How can I, with great sincerity, attune myself to the lesson that is in front of me here? And because I can't tell you what your lesson is, I mean, we could ask your higher self right now and go that much deeper. Yet what I'm intuiting is that that's your path. That's for you. That's the gift that you get to give yourself with regard to that. I pray that I'm offering clarity with regard to this, you know, because I know there's that saying about the ego that you need at least a wee bit of ego. You need a wee bit of ego now to, you know, get off your feckin' arse and get out there and be confident with yourself, as we might say in Ireland. But really, that's a clear third chakra. When you're in tune with why you're here, with your seeds of truth, with what you are here to be of service of in the world, then you can walk in the world as your I am here-ness with that clear third chakra where your willpower is strengthened. You know who you are in a body in this world, and you're like, what? I'm being a little funny here, but do you understand what I'm saying? You're confident because you are clear in your beingness, and it doesn't have to be an ego level where you have to manipulate people or put other people down or judge people or step on or walk all over or control people to get to where you're going. So what I would offer to you, what I'm getting for you is that we're going to pull an angel card for you, Mike. What I'm getting for you is that keep going. Keep going. You're on the trajectory. You're on the correct trajectory. You're asking the right questions. And you know what? The tar body does not like it. When we start picking and poking and we start peeling the carpet and we're like looking at our shit and we start looking at ourselves real honestly, and we're like, ooh, I see now I got to put some love there. I got to put some light there. I get to heal this to the greatest degree that I can. The tar body's like, no, right? It's like that. It's like in the Wizard of Oz movie, it's like, she's shrinking, you know, in that way that the moment that you look at your tar, you look at your shadow, it's like, oh, fuck, gig is over, you know, because it can't hide. But that's the moment it gets wiggly and it starts to get uncomfortable. And the more that you look at it with love and with light and you're like, all right, buddy, you're coming with me. I'm facing you down. You know, the tar body's like it's going to try to do its best to manipulate you, to bring you back into old fears, into old triggers, into old patterns that subconsciously we have an agreement with on some hidden level. But these are to be healed with the tar body that says it's safe to be that old version of self. It's safer to dwell in the dark, in the tars, than to light up and know who you are in your sovereign truth. And the tar body will do everything it can to manipulate you, to trick you, to make you get angry at other people. It will trigger your tar in projection of other people's tar. And there will be this TikTok, and the tar body loves it. Once it gets you pissed off with other people, then it just sits back and it puts its feet up. And every time that you react, whoa, 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 this animal just jumped up on the shed over there. Ooh, okay. All right. So sign from the universe. Every time you react and you respond, the tar body is being fed. So that's why we feed the light body, we starve the tar body. So keep practicing love. Keep practicing. Every time you feel that tar, you feel the tipping of the scales go in the way of fear, of pain, of those old patterns. Erase it, whatever it is, the feeling, the pattern, just the moment. Erase it and place love there. And whether that is just the word love, the feeling of love, the vision of love, whatever it might be for any given moment. And there have been times in my life, I've used this tool. I write about it in my book, The Reiki Apprentice. But there have been moments in my life where I've had to place love over and over and over and over again. You see, because every experience and every thought and every way that we share is multidimensional and multifaceted, like a crystal. And so it's like you might say, oh, I erase it and place love there. And then boo, and that aspect is erased, and love is calibrated through that grid, through that timeline for the highest good, right? But then, ching, 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 and it clicks, and then there's another aspect of that tar. There's another aspect of that pattern. You're like, man, I thought I just put love there. Well, you did on this fractal, and now it's showing you another fractal. Erase it, put love there. Erase it, put love there. So that's a tool, and we're going to pull a card for you. So what little angel card? These are just one word little cards. What little angel card will best serve Mike right now for the highest good? Oh, one just fell into the lap. Willingness. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Willingness. I'll hold it up for my YouTubers. Willingness. And didn't we just do a show? Last week's 4D Trinity was the metaphysics of willingness. So maybe there's something there you can go back in and look at. So I pray that that truly serves you, Mike. Thank you, everyone, for hopping on Instagram. I just so love both of these platforms. They're my absolutely favorite platforms, Instagram and YouTube. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to check, because I know my Instagram fam might be shy because they're not used to this conversation here that I have. Okay, nope, there's no questions yet coming in on Instagram, but that's cool. Hang out, listen. And I appreciate your love and your support. I'm very grateful that you're here. And my YouTubers are used to it, so I've got questions coming in on the YouTube. Okay, the antagonist. Sebastian, August 23rd to 1982, Virgo. I want to know if I will be fired from my job. And it's so funny that your tag is the antagonist. Will I be fired from my job? That's kind of cute. Well, my dear, this calls for the Osho Zen. So let's take a moment. This antagonist wants to know. Should I call you the antagonist? I'll call you the Virgo. I'll call you the Virgo. This Virgo would like to know if he's going to be fired from his job. Okay, so right away, without even pulling the card, I get yes. But I also get that you want to be fired from your job. That you want to be fired from your job. Dear Virgo. I'm getting all sorts of messages that you're sick of it, enough is enough, and you're moving on. And what I'm also getting is that there's two ways that you can do this. Now, do you seek to not burn the bridges? Do you seek to maintain being able to put this job on your resume when you leave? Do you seek to, to just turn away and not look back? I'm getting that you don't care. I'm getting that you don't care. So it feels that it's high time that it's over. Okay, and look at what card you get. So look at my IG fam, the Thunderbolt. So this is full on shift and change. Okay, so on a higher level, you know what I'm getting is that this is no longer a vibratory match for you. This is something that you got into, I'm hearing, because you needed to, and it has served you. Yet it is time to move on. What I'm also getting is that you have allowed certain circumstances and situations to occur without correcting them. You've allowed them to amass into a certain order that is stacking the odds in favor of you being fired. And now I'm not getting anything that you've done anything evil or anything, yet you've been slacking. You've been slacking. You've been not crossing all the T's and dotting the I's. And these little things have been adding up. And really, subconsciously, maybe you've been doing it consciously, but subconsciously, what the message is that you've been doing this for yourself. But understand that this is in service. This is in service to you because it's time to move on now, is what your higher self is saying. It's time to move on now. So what is the guidance here for our Virgo friend? Because it does feel that you will be fired. Your higher self is saying, in a nice way. Isn't that cute? You'll be fired in a nice way. Totality. So you know what? This is probably going to be one of the biggest gifts that you can receive at this time, and really that you are giving yourself, because you're done, and it is not allowing you, the job where you're at now is not allowing you to fulfill your full potential. And it was a bridging job that filled the gap to take you from one place to another, but you have arrived, or you are arriving. And so it's time. It's definitely time. Totality speaks to this aspect of it's time for you to begin participating in greater and greater and fuller ways into what you are here to do, be, and embody. You may not know what that is just yet, but the more that you under grace, or however you're going to do it, my Virgo friend, but the more that you allow yourself to come into the realization that, like, yeah, I'm done with this. And whether it means that they fire you or you just gracefully namaste your way out of there, then you will be shown more. Then the fires within, the electrical voltage, the Kundalini activation of what is ready and waiting for you will begin to stoke. It'll stoke the flames. You actually not being there will stoke the flames. Now, there may be an overlap. There may be a period of time where, for the next 2 weeks or 2 months, I'm getting, where you just stay because there are certain financial obligations that it is serving. But once you know that it is no longer a fit and it has served its time and space with you, then you can start to get the downloads of of becoming excited in the way and the ways that your heart is really guiding you to live at this time. Okay, I pray and I affirm that that really, truly serves you, dear Virgo. Thank you so very much for your question. I'm going to keep going here on YouTube. Yes, Smiley Girl, please. So Smiley Girl is saying, why did Darius look at me like that and did that thing on the stairs? What should I do with this situation with him? Why did Darius look at me like that and do that thing on the stairs? All right, Smiley Girl, let's take a moment. Why did he look at you like that and do that thing on the stairs? Well, what I'm getting right away is Darius is not immune to the full moon lunar activity. And what I'm getting is that this Darius is quite a character and a bit of an actor, a bit of a, at times and in the right company, flamboyant, what's that word? Eccentric. Not all the time, but this person has their moments. And so honestly, what I'm getting is that there is actually no particular meaning to this. Because what I'm feeling from you is that you're trying to figure out the underlying motive. Like, was he giving me a signal? Was he flirting with me? Or is there something weird going on that I should pay attention to? I don't get that there's any dark signals. I don't get that there's any romantic signals either, though, my friend, Smiley Girl. What I'm getting is that that he was affected, that he's been affected here by this full moon, and that it got to him, and that he had this radical, whether it was a dance or he kind of like channeled some crazy energy, but it was in humor and in light, and you just happened to be present for it. I pray that that serves you. So let's see. So how does that happenstance, how does that situation serve Smiley Girl? This channeling, this crazy eclectic channeling from Darius on the stairs. What is she supposed to do with it, if anything? Higher self, the Fool, the Fool. So the Fool is saying, much like what we were just sharing with you, that there's nothing to do, that there is only to be at a 0 point with it, which means to allow that situation to be what it was without projecting, without coloring it with any of your imaginings. To allow it to be a sacred, open, honorable space through which the Most High can channel through. Because I get that you're friends. I get that you know this person to a degree and they know you. And if anything, it's an introduction of greater happenstance. It's an introduction of greater fun. I get that you and this Darius character, if you haven't started to have a lot of fun with each other, you know, if you can keep you might, what I'm getting from you is that you're trying to figure out if this is like a romantic, you know, contact, if this is a romantic potential. And the universe is like, maybe not, you know? And so, and that's the Fool. That's the Fool. It's the 0. It's saying like, maybe not, but don't be distracted by that. Allow the space to be clear and open to the best that you can, and allow for what is truly in service to the highest good to be. But what did happen is that he felt so really authentic in your presence, and kind of got a hit of that lunar stuff, you know that full moon energy, and you kind of, woo, you just kind of like, and you might do a tap dance and a flip and a boom, boom, and, you know, spank your own butt, or, you know, just kooky things in front of people. And you're like, oh my God, where did that even come from? And it feels like it was like one of those, and you're like, was he flirting with me? You know, you're trying to crack the code. And what the Fool and your higher self is saying is that there is no code. that it is what it is. It is what it is. That's the message from your higher self. It is what it is. Allow that 0 point space to be that sacred plane between you. And there's room then. There's room for more. And it doesn't almost, what I'm getting from your higher self as well is saying, like, don't be distracted by thinking, by needing a romantic or something else to happen here. Don't distort the signals or the signs. Don't, it's one thing to read into them, but be mindful what you are projecting onto them, because this is a real character, this Darius. I'm getting this is a very colorful character that has a multifaceted ability to quick, smart channel an infinite amount of energies. And what's happening is he's showing you who he is. I feel like you're getting to know each other on a new level. And there's not really masks, but the masks are dropping, and that there's an intimacy that's beginning to generate. And he's showing you how to loosen up, actually. Be the fool. So Smiley Girl, we're pulling, you see, we're pulling an angel card for you, and it's trust. It's trust. So stay, and what is trust? Trust fully aligns with the Fool card, which is 0, which is in the heart, which is that mystic gift of trust, that mystic ability to just be in the moment, right? Don't read too much into it, but this feels like a really cool connection, a really cool person. And it feels like you both want to be around each other. You both want to spend time with each other. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but don't psychically imbibe the situation or Darius with psychic neediness either. Be the fool, follow your truth, just be in the moment and allow things to unfold as they will, without any expectation and without putting any obligation on him or yourself or the whole situation, because this relationship has more to show you. But it's only going to be able to show you that more as long as you stay open and without trying to control it or have expectations. Okay, I pray and I affirm that that truly serves you, Smiley Girl. Thank you so much for your question. Okay, the antagonist, just the Virgo who we read for here a minute ago, just said, God bless you. God bless you too. Okay, life is a meditation within itself. Oh, welcome back. Nice to have you back. Yeah, I feel that. Ha! It's turning into quite a battle for me just when I think I'm coasting. Yeah, just when you think you're coasting. Okay, wait, Smiley Girl, let me just scroll down here a minute. Smiley Girl says, you're literally reading my mind. Wow, you're good. Thank you so much. Blessings, Smiley Girl. Thank you for writing in. Thank you so much. So life is a meditation. Yeah, I feel that. It's turning into quite a battle for me just when I think I'm coasting. Well, that's just it, I remember years and years and years ago going through just feeling like, man, I just can't get a break here. I was just being blown here and there and everywhere and just felt like a tumbleweed. And talking to one of my dear friends, and many of you on Insta probably know her, Kai Altair, very dear friend for like a million zillion lifetimes and years. And I was like, on the verge of tears. This is like 2000 and I don't know, 7 or 8 or something. I'm on the phone with her. And she just said, in all her wisdom, she's like, sometimes it's just tumbleweed time. And you got to let go and let yourself be blown around. And so I offer that to you, And what happens, though, is that there's many ways we can think about all this stuff. And in many ways, this is our training, right? This is how all those set points that get us so stuck and so rigid into thinking we know anything at all, honey. That's where this stuff gets busted out of its usual, like a nut and a bolt, and how it can just be screwed in so tight. And then there's no movement. It's like the thing is stuck, right? Like the Tin Man, and our thoughts and our minds and our beliefs and our projections and our judgments and our past and our patterns and our pain and all those things, all those cycles, the tar body, right? It's like, caked and baked and stuck. And so when we can just like say, okay, let me take a breath and let me just trust. Let me give it. If you're a God person, You give it to God, or you give it to your angels, or you do a ceremony, you burn the fire, you know, or all of it, right? But you give it away and you ask for help, or you give it away and you just place love there and allow for the Most High to happen. And that creates the correct conditions for it to happen, for that aspect to be recalibrated, for you to be recalibrated so you can see things differently. But now, allow yourself as well to be that tumbleweed. And you know what, dears? If you are on Instagram, I ask that you please send your questions via DM versus the scroll, because the scroll goes and then I might miss it here. So I'm happy and I'm so very grateful, because I've never done this before on Instagram. But go ahead and DM, and I will do your questions in that way. So thank you so much. So getting back to the tumbleweed, when we let go, right? And most of this not being able to let go thing is this like thinking that we need to control. And where does the control come? And we all have it. I'm not zeroing you out. We all have that, but it's just because of fear. It's because of the past, because we're projecting the past into the future. And so the constant practice is being here now, right? Ram Dass, that divine saying, being here now. But it is a practice. And that's why we practice our root practices, our meditation, our breathing, our being in nature, our writing our energy letters, our practicing forgiveness, our, you know, just all the cheesy things like, you know, thinking nice thoughts, speaking nice words. It's like we can kind of roll our eyes at all that stuff. Yet that's the actual foundation that resets the subconscious mind. Right? Because it's the tar body. It's the tar body that's the cynical fucker, and that's going to question and judge and pick and poke at you and at everyone, and it's going to have something to say about everyone and everything. And that just keeps us bound. That just keeps us bound in the version of self that we are shedding those skins. Right? And so we're learning to shed those skins, be a tumbleweed, so that those tars can loosen, so that those nuts and bolts that are so firmly affixed can loosen, right? So that we can get rolled around and energetically knocked about to the degree that those tight holding patterns, I always call it like that Houdini jacket, you know, where he's, what is that? A straight jacket, where we're just like, you know, and we're okay being in that Houdini jacket up to a point. And then we start to get enlightened and we're like, what the fuck am I doing? What's this jacket? Loosen the, hello, help me. But honey, nobody's going to open that jacket. You got to do it for yourself. Right? And it's self-love and it's surrender. And yes, it is asking for help, but ultimately it is our allowing, it is our going into that dark, going into that shadow, doing the work, practicing love, letting go, surrendering, letting go of control, fessing up, sucking it up, looking at where we are, where the universe is saying like, hey, come on, like let's complete this cycle now, or at least the next rung of this cycle. So my friend, I know that wasn't really a question that you shared, and I pray and I affirm that perhaps there's some nuggets there that I had shared with you that can serve your tumbleweed time, if that is indeed where you are, and all of our tumbleweed time. Because there's a time to let go and just be blown, be carried. But this is the thing, is that if we keep holding on tight, then it's like, it's that saying, right? We've heard it before. You're either going to be dragged, right? If we're holding on, if it's time for change and shifts are happening, we're either going to be dragged over the bumpy rocks, the gravel, might get a little scraped. But if we let go and again, develop and cultivate that mystic gift of trust, then we are carried. Then we are carried. And I think you've written a little bit more, but I'm going to come back up here. You did write more, but you know what? Let me just check the Instagram and the email. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I'm on the wrong account in Instagram. I'm so sorry. Maybe you have been writing in. I have a Law of Vibration account for my book, Law of Vibration there. I'm so sorry. And I was on it. Let me see if this is a question. Forgive me. Forgive me. Okay. Okay, no, that was a conversation I was having with someone earlier. All right, my friends. So we're going to keep going on the YouTube. Okay. Again, if you are joining me on Instagram, thank you so very much. I'm so very grateful. This is my weekly live stream, 4D Trinity. Every week we bridge fourth dimensional consciousness, that is heaven on earth realization, through these conversations we have about how to create a unity between the mind, the body, the emotions with spirit. Once a month on 4DT, on my show 4D Trinity, I do this show, which is Ask Me Anything. Q&A, how can I help? Okay, and that's what we're doing here today. If you're on Insta and you have a question, DM me your question, please, versus instead of writing it on the screen. And as you know, my YouTubers, go ahead and leave your question in the comments, and I'm happy to channel for you. Okay, so just so you know, on Instagram, that I will not be reading questions from the screen, or at least not today. I don't know. That's what I'm guided to do, is to ask you to DM in. So with all due respect, I'm going to, unless I get a DM message from you on the Insta, I'm going to keep going on the YouTube. So thank you so much. Okay. Trump, my love, says, you voted for my boo, Donald Trump, right? That is a question. I don't vote, dear. So that's the answer to that. Elizabeth Martis says, hi there. May I get a general love reading, some direction in my current love life? Okay. And then, okay, I see you. Is this you? No, it's just someone with a very similar last name. So some direction in your current love life. And let me just mind your name again here. Elizabeth Martis. All right, Elizabeth. So connecting with your higher self. So right away, what I'm getting, Elizabeth, is that this is actually a time for you. This is a time for self-love and the regeneration of the strengthening of your love of self versus love in a romantic way. But that's just right off the bat what your higher self is channeling through here. It doesn't mean that there isn't room for romance. Yet what I'm also getting is that there's the last relationship you were in, there's completion to be done there. There's still one or two little threads, and they might seem minimal or nominal, yet they're very, very important that you take care of these aspects before a new, like, true romantic love comes in, and you have that conversation, you have that calibration happen. In fact, it's what I'm getting, your higher self is like it's not even going to happen unless and until you complete. So what are these two threads that you still have uncompleted? And this can be a relationship that you've ended 2 months ago or 2 years ago. We're on this 2 thing today. So again, this is about you and that healing that you're going to do in the way of completing with those aspects is specific to you loving yourself. And that's what this is all about. So again, right out of the gate, the most important relationship is the one that you are cultivating now with yourself. That being said, I know it can be very fun and juicy to find out about romance and romantic love. So let's go ahead and see what the cards say. Okay, one card fell out. Maturity. Maturity. So again, this speaks to there's a part of you. There's a part of you that is ready to grow, that wants to grow, that knows it has to grow. And so your divine acknowledgement of that is going to be the set point that allows that divine growth to occur. Because are you going to recreate the same patterns? Do you want to recreate the same patterns? You are at a crossroads here now where you can, by completing those last, I get that there's 2 little threads of things that just have not had complete closure, that have not had your full vision to acknowledge them, to forgive them, or to bless them, or to say thank you, or to complete. You know, it's like there's a corner. Like in any relationship, you know, any of us that have had relationships that have lasted longer than, say, 2 months, you know, where there's kind of, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, you know, 8 months, or that kind of a thing, there can be a period then when there is a breakup, where there's a cycle, right? And, you know, sometimes people rebound and you go out dating right away. But if there's really been a love connection there, and there's been some energy, deep energy exchange, there's usually a cycle that occurs for us once the relationship has split. And that cycle can take as long as it's going to take. But there is a point where it completes. And to the degree that it is allowed to complete, has its own lifespan and cycle that we cannot control. Yet at the same time, the work that we do while we're in that cycle can help to serve in clicking the calibration of that new cycle to begin sooner in time, in the realm of time, than later. And so what happens though is that when we don't clean under the rug, and when we don't just really complete those fine little hairs, those little tiny things, and it's sometimes tricky, right? So sometimes we have to pray and go into meditation and be like, okay, what is it? I thought I was complete. I thought I was done here, right? And I hear you saying that. Yet your higher self is saying, okay, for the highest good, there's 1 or 2 last little things that when you bring your awareness and your attention there and you honor them, that's going to help to create the correct conditions for your cycle to come to its fullness, to its fruition, to its completion. But this is the work that you get to do with yourself now. And then from there, because your higher self is saying, it's time to mature, it's time to mature. But then from there, then there will be actually a different version of you that will be allowed to exist, that will be allowed to come to be on a cellular level and in your consciousness, that will give rise to creating the correct conditions for a new type of relationship to come in. And that's what you want, is what I'm getting, right? There's an upgrade. There's an upgraded version of you, and there's an upgraded version of the type of romantic relationships that you can have. And so it's courage. It's courage. Cleaning out your 3rd chakra. Was there a displacement of energy between the 2 of you? Was there a displacement of power with your ex? And again, this can be, this doesn't even have to be chronological timeline. This doesn't have to be like the very last person you were with romantically. This can be like 3 boyfriends ago or something, or girlfriends, or whatever is the nature of the situation. But if there's still those unresolved aspects, there could be a displacement of energy. So here at my YouTube channel, I have a video, a little guided meditation. It's only like 3 or 4 minutes long. And it's a 3-breath meditation, Take Your Power Back, where, anyway, the meditation will explain it. But basically, where we have given our power away, we breathe it back into us. And everything I share is always for the highest good. There's no funky, weird, manipulating energy stuff at all. It's always in love, rooted in love and rooted in light, for the highest good of all. And so what I'm getting is that that might be a part of your practice if that resonates. So you can go to the search bar and check it out. But that's what's happening, is that there's a new version of you that's ready to be loved, but you're not quite there yet. Okay. So look at what needs the healing, the sealing of the deal from the past, so that you can be in the now moment and allow that divine maturity to activate, to align through you. And then from that place, under grace, the correct romantic opportunities will be added unto you. So that's what I get for you. I pray that that truly serves you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for your question. Jennifer says, just tuning in, first time watching, would love a reading if possible, please. Okay. When will my family catch a break and be able to get out of our current living situation? Okay, Jennifer, when will your family catch a break and be able to get out of our current living situation? All right, Jennifer, let's take a moment. When will your family catch a break and be able to, how did you say it? Get out of your current living situation. Your higher self says your current living situation is just fine, and until you see it as such, it will not be so. And I know that seems like a paradox, because there does feel that there is this need for things to change. There's this, there's a readiness for things to change. Yet, even amidst situations that are seemingly not perfect, that are challenging, even amidst situations that seem to not be in service of our highest good, you are the eternal alchemist. And as a collective, your family can practice alchemy together. I don't know if there's a religious base, if there's a spiritual base, and maybe you yourself, maybe you are the one that holds that light for the family. Yet the whole family, if you're talking about this collective as a one unit, every member on the team, if real change, if a real living situation together is going to happen consciously, then every member on the team gets to consciously be rawing the same song, if you will. So if one member on the team is saying this, and one member on the team is saying that, and the other member on the team is saying this, and if everyone is sort of, their energy is moving in different directions, and that might be what's happening for the highest good, because maybe the family unit is time to break that up, and maybe that's a part of this whole thing. Yet, if you want to, if the unit itself wants that current living situation to shift, that everyone gets to be on the same team and sing the same song, say the same prayer, recite the same affirmation to a degree, if you're with me. So what I'm getting right away is that there's a team for sure. I get that you are the one holding the majority of the spiritual power rooted in your family unit, like you're the anchor of that energy. And thirdly, remember what we said at the very beginning, is that there's that aspect of, as long as there is a neediness for things to change, that is actually what keeps us bound to situations and circumstances being exactly as they are now. So that neediness, and you don't sound needy, and believe me, I know you're saying it's your first time here, and I always pray that everything I share truly serves your path of spiritual growth and sovereignty. So take what serves you. Right? Everyone listening on Instagram, at YouTube, just take what serves you. It's all for the highest good. Yet what I'm getting, what I'm seeing, what I'm intuiting is that there's this very mystical quality, though, that's rooted in your family as well, that as the allowing, okay, so you know what I'm getting that's missing from the family unit is blessing, is gratitude. Dropping it into the now moment. And so again, there's this fine, like, metaphysical line of, being here now, blessing your circumstances, even if you're like so over it and you're so done with it and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to move, or I can't wait for the income to increase, or for the situation to change. Even given that, understanding that there are no mistakes. Collectively, as that unit that you are, as a family, you have created this circumstance wherever you are. You collectively, as this team, as this unit, have decided, have been in agreement on some level that this is exactly where you should be right now. Even if there's aggravation, even if there's like, get me the fuck out of here, or how do we change our circumstances? Again, there is that fractal, though, that's coming in, where there's this aspect of maybe this uncomfortability and this need to change is actually a signal letting us know that it's time for the team to shapeshift. It's time for the team members to change, or for that collective to crack open and that everyone do their own thing. Now, I see on Instagram Live that there's only about 25 seconds remaining. I am going to click right back in and go back live with you, my friends. These Q&As usually last about 2 hours. If this is where we part, thank you everyone on Instagram for hopping on. And again, remember, DM me with your questions. I'm not going to be reading them from the little comments on top, but I do appreciate you so very much. I love these platforms. So I thank you and I bless you with all of my heart. And I'm going to go right back in here on Instagram very shortly. And my friends on YouTube, just bear with me one moment. I actually have to blow my nose. Pardon me. I'm getting through what I'm calling a DNA upgrade. So I'm going to duck over here. Doesn't mean you won't be able to hear it, but at least you won't be able to see it. All right, my friends. So let me go right back here onto Instagram. All right, blessings. So that said, I pray that that serves you. I pray that that serves you, Jennifer. When will my family catch a break? So again, I don't know if you're the family that prays together. I don't know if you're the family that no, I get that you that okay, so I'm getting a few things. I'm getting something about feng shui, and it doesn't mean that you have to spend a whole bunch of money like getting in a feng shui person. But what it does mean is that there's something about a lack of flow of energy in your home, where there's clutter in areas that can be cleared and cleansed, so that the so that the reflection of the Most High can channel through not just you, but through your home for the good of one and all. And so there's an aspect of clearing the clutter. If feng shui resonates, maybe going to the library, getting a little book, and you don't have to do your whole home. Sometimes just the aspect in the feng shui book that maybe you're like, oh my God, about travel or about finances or about health or whatever, you can set up that little area. But again, gratitude and blessing, prayer, if that's a thing that resonates for your family. But there's something that the whole team gets to be as one power unit. And that's when things will change. And remember, when we are seeking for our current situation to change, and let me just clarify that is, okay, no, you didn't say the word change, forgive me. You're saying to get out of our current living situation. So in closing, what is your current situation showing you, right? And be very honest, like, is it showing you where you can recalibrate the way that you think about prosperity? Is it showing you that you do need to clear some clutter out of the house? And maybe then you'll be able to chill out and appreciate the space more, and the space can give you more in that way. What is your current living situation showing you? Is it showing you that someone needs to take more responsibility and bring in more income? Is it showing you that someone needs to be home more and let go of all the streams of income and just have more home time with the family? Is it showing you that there's a loved one that needs to be taken in? And so don't be in a rush to be moving anywhere, because actually the space where you're at is perfect. And so holding space for others, there's like, expand yourself, your vision out, so that you can see a broader vision of what your current living situation is showing you. And in that way, spiritualize it and get into the practice of blessing everything, everywhere. In your home, primarily to begin, because that's what the situation is about. That's what I get. So your living situation. What is it showing you? What does it have to share with you? And how can you allow yourself greater gratitude, being in that moment, blessing? I'm getting you blessing everything in your home, you blessing your circumstances exactly as they are now, giving it to God, giving it to grace, giving it to your angels, letting it be alchemated, letting it be metaphysically transmuted, not by the force of your will, but by a higher will and for the highest good. That's what's going to shift things. So I pulled an angel card for you. I'll show the Instagram fam. Purpose. Purpose. So there's some purpose. The purpose that the situation where you abide in now is serving a purpose. So you get to sit with what is that purpose. And it doesn't mean that it can't change like that, like overnight. It just means that for now it is serving a purpose. And I know sometimes it's very challenging to sit in situations where you're like, I'm so over this. I'm so over this lesson. I'm so over living here. I'm so over this current situation. Yet, you know, when it's time for that shift, for that change to happen, allowing it to happen under grace is, right? Is you being a master, is you allowing flow, synchronicity, and is also you know, on one hand, being that master, mastering up, spiritualizing everything, and at the same time giving it up and relinquishing control so that that higher order, whatever you call it, love, God, source, universe, can come in and help metaphysically, alchemically shape shift circumstances, situations, time, and space for the highest good on your behalf, on the behalf of your family. I pray that that serves you. I pray that that serves you. I'm just going to check in and see if any Instagrammers have been brave enough to, I don't mean that like that. I'm just getting sassy. Okay, wait, there's one request. Let's see if this is a new friend here on Insta. Hey, all right, blessings. And you know, I just want to tell you that sometimes people, oh, and there's an email question here I'll have to get to. And sometimes people don't want their name to be said. They want to remain incognito, and I fully honor that. And so if that is the case, then you tell me that you want me to use a pseudonym. So if your real name is Kim, but you're like, I don't want the whole world to know that I'm asking this specific question, you know, call me Katie. You just tell me. It's all good. It's all good. We'll keep your incognito-ness. Okay. I do have a question on Instagram. So thank you for being the first person to DM a question on Instagram. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Hello. Is there a chance for me to be with the Capricorn? How should I act with him? Okay. I'm gonna, because I believe that you were writing this in on the screen, Lorena. So I'm gonna call you by your name. So is there a chance for you to be with this Capricorn, and how should you be with him? Oh God, it's so funny. Look what fell out again, the Fool. We had this one earlier with the other gal. So is there a chance for you to be with this Capricorn? Whoa, okay, your higher self, Lorena, is totally just like, says no. He's not the one for you. Oh my God, your higher self is like, walk away, walk away. That's kind of funny. And I mean that with the greatest respect. But your higher self is has given me all sorts of information. It's saying you won't be happy. At the same time, the cards are saying, be the fool. Have no expectations. Project no control of the situation, and allow yourself to remain in your power in the present moment. Yet your higher self is saying, steer clear of the Capricorn, my dear. And that might not be what you want to hear at all. Now, a huge chunk of cards fell out. Let's see what's happening. Okay. The Miser. So this is the Capricorn. This is, okay, so what I'm getting here, Lorena, is that this Capricorn, although they might be juicy, baby. They might be, you know, you have some attraction with them. You may feel some attraction with them. They do not have the capacity to open their hearts and to love you the way that you know you need to be loved. Now, it's one thing, you know, no judgment here at 4DT. You know, if you just want to be hooking up, you just want to have some fun. I don't know what your thing is, happy hour drinks, a little snuggle, I don't know, a little flirt. Hey, you know, that's one thing. Yet a Capricorn chances are a Capricorn, okay, wait, I'm not going to project my stuff. Let me be very careful. Let me just channel your higher self in the cards. I'm not going to, I was going to get into my, because I have some Capricorn exes. And for me being a Taurus, no, N-O. But that's my projection. So let me detach and delink from that and just come back to your situation specifically. But again, it's so funny because equally for you, your higher self is saying, no, honey, he can't love you the way you need to be loved. But what your higher self is saying is that you are ripe. You are ready. The fruit has fallen from the tree. The fruit has fallen from the tree. So love, okay, what I'm getting is like love is right around the corner for you. Love is right around the corner for you. This Capricorn is the training wheels. Okay, because what I'm also getting for you is that maybe it's been a minute. It's been a minute since you've exercised these values, since you've gotten excited, you know, about someone in this way. And this Capricorn is like stirring the pot. Yet they are not capable of loving you, of being what you need. Okay, of being, they don't match you. In the love department, it's like this. It's like you'll have the chemistry, you'll have the affection, which is lovely. You'll have the connection. So it'll be like, what is this lady on YouTube talking about? What is this lady on Instagram talking about? Because like, check, check, and check, you know, we have all these good things together. Yet, deep, 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 what I get is, I'm looking into future timelines, right? Probable quantum possibilities here. This is what I'm being shown. Say you fall in love, you will, and he could say, I love you. And you could be like, I love you too, baby. Yet the love, the level of love that this person knows how to be, embody, and share is like at a 2, whereas you're like at an 8 and a 10. So that's what your higher self is saying like, you know, maybe a little makeout session after some drinks at happy hour, have some fun, flirt, whatever. And then to the extent of like, okay, and if there is that thing and you are guided and you get together, what your higher self is saying is that if you get into this situation with this person, your ability to love is at a higher level than theirs. And so what will happen is that you will be the teacher. And sometimes we don't mind that, right? Sometimes I know that has been my karma over and over and over and over and over. And now that I've done that for, you know, since I was a teenager for many, 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 many years, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. You know, there's a certain point where we're like, okay, universe, I just want to meet my equal here now so that I don't have to like teach someone and help them heal their lives. Anyway, so Lorena, I know we're kind of going way out, but I get all this stuff about this guy that he seems real, like, you know, and you might be like, you know, like really kind of have that thing. Yet there's a baby in there. That's what I'm getting. There's a baby in this big man. In this hot Capricorn, there's a little child that needs a lot of love. So if you're willing and ready to do that, then you do that. Or you use all that excitement and that chemistry and you just stay open. Because again, you're ripe and you're ready and there's love around the corner for you. And this Capricorn is like the training wheels to get your juices, to get your libido, to get your goddess activated. And so trust. Again, this trust, this 0 point, this mystic gift of your heart, trust and go with the flow. So have no expectations, have no demands of this Capricorn, and your higher self is saying, just know what you're getting yourself into if you go in that direction. I pray and I affirm that this truly serves you. I do. And thank you for being my first question on Instagram. Namaste. I'm so grateful. So I'm going to hop back over here to YouTube, to the comments on YouTube. And I know there was an email that came in and I want to make sure I address that as well. Let me just go back over here so that I make sure I don't miss it and that we're on the correct email, because maybe there's more. Okay. Where is, okay. So back over here onto YouTube. And let me just check in down below. Woo! Okay, we got a lot of stuff. Hey, boom, Will. Thank you for hopping on. All right. So, oh, Lorena, I see you were over here on YouTube as well. Okay, cool. Okay, life is a meditation, so we're going to go on. Yeah, it's been a little confusing, a little fear, paranoia, but I don't believe the voice in my head at all anymore. It's just like, how did this disempowering bull get here? It's not me. That's right. That's right. It is not you. Doesn't even sound like me. It's kind of nuts. Ha. This is right. So we were talking about the light body and the tar body. It's so true. The more that you practice love, practice light, calibrate your light body, and you start really hearing what we call here the voice for God, which is really your higher self, which is like breaker, breaker, da, 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 you know, it's that voice for God. It's the voice of your higher self. When you really start intuiting and hearing that, and you start loving yourself to the degree that you get to know who you are in your truth, unabashedly, who you are in that love, in that light, in your light suit, in your love suit. And then you start hearing those old reruns from the tar body, from that shadow self. You're like, who the fuck is that? You don't even recognize. You're like, whoa, I used to buy into those messages of self-doubt, of self-hate, of self-loathing, of I'm not enough. I should be afraid. You'll never make it, et cetera, et cetera. And when the tipping of the scales shifts to that degree and the light body is calibrated, and you hear those messages of tar, come in once in a while through the static, kill yourself. You should be afraid in the world, or whatever the things are. You're kind of looking, you're going like, oh my God, it's almost hilarious, because you realize the desperation, the degree that tar body, that shadow will manipulate, will try to use every trick in the book to try to lure you back in. But you're right. You're laughing and you're saying it's nuts, and you don't even recognize that voice anymore. Good. That means that you've given the right of way to the light body, to your higher self, to that part of you that is directly connected and rooted in love. So blessings to you. I am that. Excuse me. I am that. I know nothing. I am that I know nothing place. And it's a total relief. Isn't it just? Isn't it just? I know nothing. I tortured myself my whole life, feeling my heart and head area opening up. A little afraid, I am not ready, but just going with the flow. And that's all we get to do. So yeah, for sure, it's helpful. Thanks. Okay, good. I'm glad that our conversation earlier has served you. And Elizabeth Marta says, okay, good to know. I see. I don't want to recreate the same patterns. All right. Blessings, Elizabeth. Yes, I pray that it serves you. Oh, and you go on to say, you are right. It resonates. I will check out the video for sure. Okay. Blessings, blessings. So let's keep going. Pearl says, haha, Lorena, I want to know about a Capricorn too. Everyone is on the chats asking about a Capricorn. That's so funny. Okay, Pearl. Well, if you have a question, that's so cute. I love when you guys have your conversations with each other on the comments. I love that. Hey, Champagne. What's up? Nice to see you again. So Champagne is saying, I would love to get guidance on why I have been feeling a little cautious, like if something is wrong, or like a tug recently. Thank you. Okay. You would love to get guidance on why you have been feeling a little cautious, like if something is wrong. Okay, Champagne. Why have you been feeling a little cautious? I've been feeling a little tug. Is something wrong? So let's take a moment. We're going to just hit the reset button here. Sign into your higher self for the highest good. Okay. Excuse me. Right away, what I'm getting is that you are, whether you're consciously doing it or your higher self is doing this on behalf of you, you are setting, what you're doing is you're setting up new patterns of healthy boundaries. And healthy boundaries are very powerful. Healthy boundaries are, your higher self is saying, healthy boundaries are what you need. Ooh, pardon me. Healthy boundaries are here to serve you. And what I'm also getting is that that's a little bit of a new territory for you, my dear. So, and so you are cautious because a part of you is like, am I doing this right? What am I doing? Why do I need to do this? Yet, you know, your higher self knows why you get to do it. We move out of the need and we move into that we get to, right? Be a master of our time and space. We get to create healthy boundaries. We get to create the correct conditions whereby we get to live our best life and have the greatest heaven on earth realization experience in a day-to-day basis. So yes, what I'm getting is that you are creating, whether you're conscious of it or not, you are creating healthy boundaries. And my friends on Instagram, if you have a question, DM me, okay? Go ahead and DM me and I will get to your question. Thank you so much. I'm not reading them from the comments on the screen, so go ahead and DM me. So yes, you're creating new healthy boundaries, which is a new practice for you, Champagne, or at least the way that you are being invited to cultivate these healthy boundaries now is very different from how you've done them in the past, because you're not the same person, you're more aware. And with that more awareness, there is a greater sensitivity. So there's almost this it's like you extend and then you pull in, and I see your energy where you're contracting. Your energy is contracting, and it's almost because you're going like, whoa, because you're seeing things you've never seen before. You're seeing things in a new way, and you're kind of going like, oh my fucking God. You see what's happening, Champagne, is you're seeing more light, but you're also seeing more dark. Yet the key here, the teaching here, is to remain detached and to know that even in the darkness that we may perceive, that there is a teaching, that there is a lesson. And sometimes the teaching and the lesson is to just be with that level of awareness that shows you that you have this new ability to see light and dark, and you don't have to judge it. You don't have to get into deeply defining it. You can just say like, oh, there's love. Oh, there's fear. Oh, there's shadow, there's dark. Oh, there's love and there's light, without having to like react to it. So so I'm seeing that this is the next part of your training. This is the next part of your initiation into greater love and light, into creating healthy boundaries for yourself energetically, in the invisible, energetically. So what I'm getting an energy tool for you, Champagne, that I want to share with you. I pray that this resonates, that all of this resonates, because you're becoming enlightened, right? And the next level of this is, what happens is, as we become enlightened, we realize there's this, it's a dance. It's this constant balance and this dance between, like not being a body, realizing that you're not a body and that you are this divine spirit, connected to God, to source. Yet at the same time, you're like, but wait, I'm still in a body and I'm still on this earth plane. And maybe I still have some issues that need healing. And maybe I still have some things that I project, and maybe all these things. And so learning to loosen the moors, as we were saying earlier, like that tumbleweed, and at the same time, batten down the hatches. So that while you roll around like the tumbleweed and you learn new lessons and you learn new things about yourself, as this expanded, beautiful, just like, I love everyone, this like love and light creature, comes a responsibility. And the responsibility is your energy, is managing your energy. And so what I'm getting for you that you're at is you're blooming, you're blossoming, your psychic abilities, your sensitivities, you're like your third eye, you're like, woo, you're awakening, right? It's this beautiful, gentle awakening. But it's what's happening with it is this like, oh, okay, it's new territory. because the perceptual lenses are expanding. So you're like, ooh, you're feeling, you're sensing things in more ways, cautious, right? So you're feeling like, I need to be careful out here because I'm not sure exactly where my energy ends and their energy begins, and am I bleeding over into it, and is there a cross-pollination, and is that okay sometimes, is it not okay sometimes, and where do I need to draw the line? And this is all about you paying attention and learning what energy is yours, learning what energy belongs to someone or something else, and maintaining your sacred space within your sacred vehicle of self. Not to say that energies cannot interpenetrate for the highest good and have a beautiful circulation of life force and exchange in beautiful healing, healthy ways. But I think that's the point here, is that you're learning, you're at this learning curve of like, what is the healthy way? I get to redefine that, you get to redefine that for yourself and understand that as you come up in your enlightenment, as your energy bumps up, as your vibration raises, that this is what's going to have to happen. It doesn't have to, but when I work with students and clients, that this is what happens. And this is what I am guided to encourage, is that you get to reset. Like you get to go into the little operating system within yourself and be like, okay, so my healthy boundary used to be about this quality, this quality, this quality, or it used to be 0. I didn't even know about healthy boundaries. And now I have this awareness, which are these 3 important things. But, maybe those 3 things become 16 things, or maybe they go down to 1 thing. Whatever it is, you get to redefine that. So the tool that I'm guided to share with you, that I'm going to be writing about, I have a free mini ebook at iBooks. Get the iBooks one if you're on iBooks, because it has beautiful art. It has beautiful art in it. Whereas the one on Kindle is just the text, but it's still, the juice is in the text. So, but it's free on iBooks and at Kindle, and it's called the NOWOSPHERE, Understanding Your Spiritual Sensitivity. So Champagne, get that. It's a little mini ebook. You'll read it like in, 20, 30 minutes. But anyway, there's the NOWOSPHERE book 2 that I'm working on that has some energy, some metaphysical energy tools. So I'm going to offer this to you and to everyone watching, that as you're guided. And what it's called White Wall of Fire. And you just imagine yourself as it resonates, as you're guided, and maybe at the beginning of the day when you do your meditation, you call in the white wall of fire, and like that, for the highest good, it activates. And you imagine at a radius of about 3 foot around you, there is this invisible, in the 3rd dimension, but highly visible and activated in all dimensions through all time and space, just this white flaming wall of fire that goes up, 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 as high as you can imagine. And it surrounds you, and it goes with you wherever you go. And what it does is it serves to burn out the Maya, to burn off the dross, to burn off the anything, everything that is not rooted in love, that is not rooted in your truth, including that which we carry. So the BS that we still walk with, right? You're not alone. I'm not calling you out, because we all got some stuff, right? I mean, hey, that's what we're doing here. We're working it out. But it allows us, it burns. It's the white wall of fire. It's absolute clarity is what its gift is. And so that white wall of fire burns. It burns through the veils of illusion. So any thoughts that you have or projections you have that are rooted in fear, that are based in anything that is not love, that is not rooted in your truth, it's going to burn through that, leaving only what is clearly true, and the truth with a capital T. And likewise, people, places, and things on the outside of you in your environments, you're going to be seeing through this white wall of fire that's just blazing. It's going to allow your vision, your 3rd eye vision, heart and 3rd eye vision, to see through the veils of illusion that may be being shown to you through the guise of people, places, situations, circumstances, so that you can see into the truth. Again, you are seeing more love and more light. You're going through an initiation of enlightenment in this way. The job here is not to judge the light and not to judge the dark, but is to just simply be like, oh, okay, that's love and that's light and that's fear. You're beginning to distinguish with greater acuity, greater clarity, those aspects. And so what I offer to you is that white wall of fire, as it resonates, that it will truly serve you. And the cool thing about these metaphysical energy tools that I teach is that it will be there as it's required to be there. Once you've called it in on that day, it will be with you. to the degree that it is required, right? And it will diminish, it will go away of its own accord. So at the end of the night, when you go to bed, you don't have to be like, ooh, I better put that fire out, I'm gonna burn down the house. No, it'll subside accordingly. Okay, so it'll be there as you need it. I pray that that serves you, Champagne. This is very exciting though. It feels like you're really going through some metaphysical activation, which ultimately is rooted in self-love and enlightenment. So blessings, and thank you for your question, dear. I'm so grateful. All right, blessings. So I know there was someone on the Insta that was writing in. So let's just check and see if you ended up DMing your question. Okay, no, you have not. All right, so just so you know, if you're on Insta and this is new, I know this is the first time I've done the Q&A on Insta, please send your question in through the DM. We've got about another 30 minutes left. And I promise I'll do my best to get through all the questions. There are some times I can't get to all of them. So if that's the case, then in 4 weeks, when I do another one of these shows, hop on a little sooner and I will make sure I get to it. But in the meantime, let's keep going. So I'm going to come over to the YouTube comments. So Pearl, hi, I'm just wondering if there is any possibility with me and the Capricorn in the future, or if there's any coming for me in love. That's so cute. It's true, right? Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. That's so cute. Oh, wait, you have written more. Let me just make sure what you have here. I should find you on Insta. Yeah, come and follow. Check out my page if you're interested. Oh, you DM'd? You DM'd me on Insta, honey? I don't see your DM, dear. Let me check. Got that retrograde thing going on. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. You are here. I wrote it on the screen, but I'm just wondering if you see any future with me and the Capricorn who is going through a divorce, or anything coming for me in love. Okay. Thank you. And I do see there is another. Okay. Let me just see. Okay. Juliana. Okay. Cool. Thank you, ladies, for writing in through the Insta. Okay. So Pearl, you first. Any future with you and the Capricorn who is going through a divorce, or anything coming in the way of love. So let me take a moment. Wow, these Capricorn men. So what I'm getting is he's actually, I'm getting no. A lot of no's today with the Capricorn men. But it's because he's not, he's going through a divorce, but you know what I get is that he's not over this woman that he's divorcing. He's not over it. And he's a long way from being over it. And while what I get is that there is a weakness there with him, though. I get that there's a weakness that he could be seduced. But is that what you really want to do? I mean, maybe, I don't know. But, he could be seduced into perhaps a night of something or the other, yet his heart will not be in it. That's a very strong word, but higher self is saying that he's like tortured by this situation deep inside. So whatever's going on, whatever he's showing, the tough guy or the whatever he's projecting on the outside, there's a deep hurt in his heart, and he's not over her yet. And your higher self is like, and so don't touch him with a 10-foot pole. These poor Capricorn men. But you're asking, your higher self is guiding you to ask. And so there's like, part of you is saying like, let me just check in on this before like I throw in all my heart and my love, my love juice here, which is good that you're doing it. And again, you do, honey, everybody, you do what you're guided to do. For the highest good, this is what I'm guided to do, is to be of service and to channel these messages for you. But ultimately, please listen to your heart, listen to your truth, do what feels in resonance for you. Maybe there's a tiny smidge of something that I share that resonates, that helps you make your decision or move in one direction or the other. But ultimately, please listen to the truth in your heart, right? But I am here with sincerity. And I do channel your higher self. And I am here with all of my heart. And because I'm guided by God to be here and to do this, it might sound funny, but it's the truth. So I am here in sincerity, and the offerings I do share are from a place of truth. Okay. So I know we have fun here as well, but really it's rooted in truth and in love. Ultimately, though, you do what's right for you, everyone. So back to this Capricorn. Yeah, no, he's far from being over this woman that he's divorcing. Comes across as a tough guy, big guy, blah, blah, blah. And he's hot. Sorry, girl. I'm just getting a reading. I'm like, he's hot. Okay. But you know what? He's so not in that place. And what I'm getting, okay, now this is a little intimate, honey. I'm getting that even the bubble of light, but your higher self wants me to say it. Remember I just said he is seducible? Okay, but here's the problem, is that your higher self is showing me this scenario. It's kind of crazy, honey, but that he is seducible, right? So it might, if it was guided, you could have that fancy little like, that little flirty thing, and it could move to that situation where it seems like it's going to go somewhere more physically intimate with you guys. Yet, because of the deep-rooted pain and the sorrow that he's walking with, the torture in his heart that he's walking with about this divorce, he's not going to be able to perform, my dear, because he's not fully there with you. So that is a lot of 411, I know. But there's power in that information, you know, and it speaks to where is the heart, you know, and to the degree that we can heal those spaces and those places in the heart is to the degree that we can show up and love and be loved. So besides that, now that we got the Capricorn out of the way, let's go ahead and check in. So anything else in the way of love? And I want to make sure I have your Pearl. That's you. I want to make sure I have your name correct as we ask. So higher self and Osho Zen, anything else in the way of love for Pearl? So besides the Capricorn, getting the divorce, what messages are here for Pearl with regards to love, regards to romance? And we thank you. We thank you. Laziness. Laziness. What is this about? What is this about? Okay, I'm getting not to put all your eggs in one basket. Spring has sprung and it's time to work it, girl. It is time to flirt, because the laziness, what I'm getting is that pertains to keeping your focus. And I don't know if it's been this Capricorn, but where you've been honing in on like one person. You know how we do that? Sometimes we get a fancy after someone and we're like, them, I want them. It's all about them. How can I get them? Right? Yet higher self is saying like, well, it said everything that it said earlier about this Capricorn, but also it's saying that this springtime activation and your libido and your flirtiness and your ability to be accessible to love, to romance, to those endeavors, to those adventures, that muscle, make sure it doesn't get lazy by you focusing all your attention on someone that is inaccessible. And so it's a practice. So your higher self is saying like, get out there and flirt it out. And I don't know, for some people that could mean different things to different people, right? But let your juices start flowing in the direction that is not just solely focused on this one person's attention, because that's causing your flirty muscles to get lazy. And I mean that with love, but you know what I mean? It's like if you're just focusing on one person, then what about all the other parts of you that are goddess activated? Like they're not being activated because you're just putting all your eggs in one basket. So that card is speaking to get your flirty mojo on. Don't be distracted by this Capricorn any longer. Take a breath and know that you are beautiful and you are worthy of someone who's ready to love you. So we just pulled a card. Ooh, respect. Respect. So self-respect. Self-respect. Again, right? You could get this Capricorn into a flirty, seducey situation, but is that really how you want to go forward? Is that really, it's not, the guidance is it's not really going to serve you. Respect yourself by allowing yourself to receive in a broader spectrum. Allow yourself to have fun and allow yourself to maintain that level of self-respect, because you don't necessarily need to be with someone who's still earning and yearning and burning after someone else who's still tortured by the wife that they're divorcing. Honey, you deserve so much more than that. You deserve someone who's ready to be in the now with you. Now, also being mindful, right? And you know, everything I share here is spiritually rooted. Is like we have the spiritual dimension here in this advice and these messages. So be mindful though. Is going for the Capricorn that's all tortured and like needs healing and all that, is that part of your pattern? And is that your higher self saying like, it's time to get out of this pattern now? You're worthy of much more, you know? So that might be something that you can look at too. And I mean that with love and with light. So blessings and thank you. There was another question here on Insta I'm going to get to. And then I'm going to read the email that came. And then we'll go back to our YouTube comments and then we'll wrap up. Juliana, namaste, namaste, dear. I want to know how the things will work out for me and Eric, please. Okay. How will things work out for Juliana, and I pray I'm saying that correctly, and Eric? So right away, I get very good. I get so far, so good. And then to answer your question, very good. I get that they're saying, your higher self is saying he's the right match for you. He's a good match for you. Take it slow. And they're saying, come here, Swami Origami. Swami Origami wants to join. Come here, babe. They're saying that let him be the man. So yes, let him know. Let him keep knowing that you're an interested participant, yet let him be the man. Let him enjoy the chase. Let him, even if you're already kind of established together, let him keep pursuing you. What I'm getting for you is that there's a courtship that's happening. There's a courtship that's happening. And whether you've already kissed, you know, and like kind of like manifested that level of intimacy on the physical 3D level or not just yet, that you're still in a courtship. And even if you've been together for a year, I feel like you're in a courtship. And it is this is really nice. Whoa. I'm getting that this is kind of hot. Let him keep being the man. Let him keep showing up and not chase you. Like, I mean, you want to be accessible to him. You don't want to disappear completely. And you don't want to play games. I'm not saying to manipulate him or the situation, yet let him keep manning up. Let him, you know, maintain your goddess mysteriousness, you know, in balance and in playfulness. This feels like a very light, lovely connection. And I feel like this spring for you and Eric, I just keep getting the word hot. Woo! Hot. Now with that, the silence card came out. The silence card came out. So this is all about meditating, being silent, and this is also about your intuition. So it speaks to this aspect that you already have a feeling, a good feeling about this situation. And what this card is saying is don't think too much. Don't think too much, because then the thinking becomes the burden. And the burden crushes the hotness. You see, there's this thing that you guys have in this courtship that's happening in this little dance that that you can't force. You can't think that time is real, and you can't. And I know I'm saying you can't, because you can do whatever you want. But how it's coming through is it's like don't try to force. Don't you wear the pants unless you guys have that kind of relationship, and I mean that in all sincerity, in a trans way, with all respect. But what I'm getting is that let him be the man. Don't try to force the situation, or else it's going to become a burden. Let him keep extending to you. You be the goddess. You be magnetic. Let him find you. But be visible. Don't hide to the extent that he can't find you. You know, but If you start to try to control it, then it's going to take the sweet, the mystery, the serendipity, the synchronicity, the lightness, the fun, the flirting that is like very much there. And it's going to take the magic, you know, the mystique out of the courtship. And then it'll turn into like, so are we going to go to the movie on Friday night or not? You said that we were supposed to go to happy hour, you know, and then it becomes like this response, like a job. And your higher self is saying like, don't do that. Don't do that. Let it be mysterious. Let yourself dance lightly and in detachment. And just know that, yeah, it's a good thing right now that's happening. So I'm getting to pull an angel card for you. I'm with Eric. Joy. Joy. You see? It's on. It's happening, honey. Just chill. Chill and let yourself enjoy. Enjoy. Be here now. Don't worry about, are you guys going to get married? Is he the one? All that stuff. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the now moment. And it seems like you guys are a very good pairing. So I pray that that serves you. Let me just have a little scroll. She says, I'm lazy. I have chronic fatigue. Yeah, that's me. Oh, that's so funny. He's hot as fuck. Does my higher self see a friendship or something? Readers have told me later in the future, but not now. Okay. Yeah, no, there's a slow, right, churning of this energy. So thank you. You've given us more information here. Thank you, new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing, Pearl. I do this Q&A once a month on my weekly live stream. Other than that, it's 4D Trinity, where we bridge fourth dimensional consciousness with through the unity of mind, body, and emotions with spirit. And so I share all sorts of metaphysical and spiritual teachings on my other shows on these Thursdays. So thank you for hopping on and for your question. Okay, and Champagne came back and was saying, okay, wow, okay, that makes so much sense. Thanks for help. It helps me so much, big time. Yes, dark and light is right on point. Loss of words, how accurate you are. Wow, 100, heart. All blessings, Champagne. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate your questions. Gonna for sure read the lessons and take your advice. Okay, bless. May it serve your highest good. Pearls, you're funny. He's hot as fuck. You have a mini crush on a Sag. I'm lazy. You have chronic fatigue. Okay, that's cute. Okay, blessings, Pearl. So let's go ahead. And I'm going to read this question that came in. Oh, need the glasses back on, through the email. And we're going to check it out. We're going to check it out. Okay, so bear with me 1 second, my friends. I'm going to get over to here. And if you are on Instagram, you know, check out my page. And maybe you would like to follow. I appreciate it. And I love like 2 favorite platforms, YouTube and Instagram. Love them. Love them. So that's where you're going to find me. That's where you're going to find me. Okay. So Jamie writes in, hi, Tuesday. I have to put this in early because I will be at work while you live stream. Okay. Oh, first I want to say thank you for the 2 books you wrote, The Reiki Apprentice and How to Manifest with the Law of Vibration. I love them both, and you are helping me along my journey. I love your free spirit. Thank you for everything. All blessings. Yes, everyone. Just so you know, I'm an author and a speaker as well. And I have all of my books. If you're on YouTube, there's links down in the description in the Show More box. I have those 2 free books. 1 book you get for free when you sign up at my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com. Link is on my main page at Insta or down in the Show More box here. I send out, at this point, I just send out 1 email a month. It's my monthly love letter where I send you a little blog and information on my teachings, my books and stuff. And you can sign up for that at my website. The first page, you'll see a little contact form. And when you do sign up, you receive my mini ebook, The Higher Self Blueprint of Mastery. But besides that, that ebook, I believe that's available. It's either on iBooks or Kindle. I know I should know that, but it's there as well somewhere. And for sure, my little mini ebook that's also for free that I was, I believe, saying to Champagne about earlier is called The NOWOSPHERE Book 1. Understanding Your Spiritual Sensitivity, and that is on iBooks and at Kindle for free. It's a little mini ebook here to serve. And then I also have my bigger books, The Reiki Apprentice, for sale at Kindle and on Kobo. soon coming onto iBooks, and How to Manifest with the Law of Vibration. And that currently is paperback and Kindle. So is the Reiki Apprentice. So anyway, all those links are either at my website or at in the Show More box here on Instagram. So thank you for your support, Jamie. Thank you for all of your kind words. And I'm grateful that you received support from my offerings. So your question: do my guides have any guidance for me regarding my relationship with my current partner and also with attracting close friendships in my life? Okay, let's see. Now I do want to say, hey, blessings, Diana. Is it Diane? It's Diane. Diane, intuitivespirit.life, right? I pray that I'm saying that correctly. All right, my friends. So this is going to be the final question. So I thank you so much. So Jamie's wanting to know about his current guidance regarding my relationship with my current partner and also with attracting close friendships in I'm assuming you're a male, but you might not be, in your life. Guidance with regard to your current partner. Okay, so your higher self is being very sassy, Jamie. Your higher self is saying like, no. Your higher self says, no. Don't try to fix what is not broken. Isn't that interesting? You know, that's just very interesting. Your higher self is saying things are going good, don't mess it up. So is that a pattern for you, is to try to find something that's going wrong to try to fix it? It feels like that might be a pattern for you. And again, you know, everything I share is for the highest good and from love and from light. Though your higher self is sharing this aspect of don't fuck it up, right? Don't go in there and mess with it. Higher self is saying everything is perfect just as it is. Let it go and let flow. Let it go and let love. Oh, your higher self also says, can you be loved? Can you be loved? So now we're getting to this root of this question. And perhaps this idea, as it resonates with you, okay, a card just flew out from the deck. We'll grab it here in a moment. This idea speaks to, and I say all this with love and with light and with great respect, but those parts of us that maybe feel insecure. And when a good thing comes along, sometimes we feel like, sometimes we, you know, if there's that self-doubt still lurking in there, then we kind of might be looking for something to go wrong instead of just blessing what is and receiving it, you know, receiving it and being able to bask in it. And I get that a little bit for you here, Jamie. I get your higher self keeps saying, stop looking for what's wrong and focus on what's right, because there's a lot going right here. Now, look at this card. This card is the one that flew out, Adventure, when we were shuffling and connecting with your higher self. And you know, when I do my tarot readings, this card always speaks to the orgasmic life. It speaks to innocence. You being innocent like a child. It speaks to not having it all figured out and trusting. And it speaks to this beautiful astral plane, these colors of your heart, the colors of your truth being calibrated and activated. So I feel like this connection that you have with each other, it's a sincere one. And in a bubble of light, perhaps the challenge is for you is like, can you handle it? It feels very simple. It feels very natural. It feels easy, you know? And maybe your ex, I'm getting that there was a lot of drama. There was a lot of ways that, okay, so what I'm getting in a bigger picture is that you're not one of these people who's had like back-to-back relationships. You've maybe had a handful of very significant partners. And so your experience from those partners is coming up in this question now about your current partner, because what's happened is you've discovered self-love, you've discovered spirituality, and you're growing spiritually, and you've created this circumstance whereby you have this match now, and it's actually easy. It doesn't have all the drama and all the crazy cray-cray from the past. And so you're almost like, is this a real relationship? Is there something I should be, is this kind of weird? Because like everything is going kind of just flowing. And your higher self is saying like, yeah, welcome to your new timeline of love. You know, can you receive it? And the answer is yes, you can. And the invitation is to like, be innocent like that child. Keep letting go and keep letting love, and really allow yourself to be mindful of sinking and rooting into the now moment and receiving it. So this is all about you being able to receive love. It's a beautiful connection that you have with this person. It's easy, it's fluid, it's gentle, it's natural, and it's real. And it feels like there's a new realness level to this relationship that is new for you overall. And so you're questioning it. And that's okay. That's natural. But your higher self is saying like, it's okay to just relax. And in fact, let's pull a little angel card just to sum up any further guidance with you regarding that. Truth. You're in truth. You're in truth with this person. And what I get is that you perhaps have never been this version of yourself before. You're more true and authentic with yourself than you've ever been before. And so you've attracted this partner that's true and authentic too. And so you guys just get to like hang out and just be like in the truth grids. You get to be like in the juiciness of, and what is truth? Truth is love. Oh, it's beautiful. So don't fuck with it. Receive it. Just breathe in and breathe out, one day at a time. Bless it, give thanks for it, and receive it. You are loved. That is so beautiful. Now, and you were also asking about cultivating friendships, or let me just make sure I have it correct. Attracting close friendships in your life. Attracting close friendships in your life. So what does higher self have to say about you attracting close friendships in your life? The guidance card came up. Attracting close friendships in your life. What I get is that there are two people in your life that you already have close friendships with, yet those friendships get to be greater cultivated. And so work with what you have now in regard to, it's Diane. I'm just remembering, it's Diane. I believe it's Diane, with all due respect. But what I get is you working on, there's two significant friendships that you have now, and you working on cultivating that closeness and the integrity within those friendships is what is going to allow a new set point that will be the training wheels, if you will, for you attracting more of those like close friendships. But they're already here is what I'm getting. They're already right here in your midst. And so working with what you have, there's one or two, you got some friends already that are here. And so work with what is already in front of you. Maybe making more time for just you and that friend to go and do things where you have similar things in common, you know, friend things, hobby things. Go to meetings together, lectures, I don't know, but it seems like work with what you have now. And that way you're going to create a deepening set point that whereby that will then come to you naturally. It will be added unto you naturally, more and more of those sincere, integral friendships. Okay, my friend? So blessings, Jamie, and thank you for writing in through the email with your question. And I know there was a last one, Lorena. I know you said that he is not enough for me, but something in me tells me that I don't want to leave him. Like I don't want to do it at all. I don't care if he hurts me. This never happened. I know, girl, sometimes we just got to do, honey, you know, I get it. I get it. Ultimately, you're going to do what you're going to do, and all paths lead to love, ultimately. And sometimes we go down those paths even though we're like, I know I'm going to get hurt. I know they're not like the 100% one for me, but like, I got to just see what's through that door. And so it is. So you explore. And if that's really your truth, then there's a healing there. There's a realization there. There's a stone to turn over. There's a part of you to get to know better. Okay? So listen to your truth. Do what truly serves yourself. And I wish you all the best. So everyone, thank you so much. Thank you all of the Instagrammers for hopping on. There's a whole bunch of new people who joined. Thank you so much. I'm so very grateful. Once a month, I do this Q&A, Ask Me Anything, where I channel your higher self in conjunction with our cards here, the Osho Zen, in service, to our 3D, 4D community. And we're going to be ending here on Insta soon. So thank you everyone for hopping on. Go to my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com, link at my main page, and sign up for my monthly love letter. I send out a love letter once a month. So thank you everyone on Instagram. I truly, truly am so very grateful. And I appreciate you guys sending in your questions via DM. And thank you, my YouTubers. I love and appreciate you so much. I love both of these platforms so deeply. I pray and I affirm that everything I share truly serves your path of spiritual growth and sovereignty. If you like these messages, if you're into the information, subscribe to my channel. I do a weekly tarot, metaphysical, spiritual tarot reading, and I have all sorts of videos on meditation, on a spiritual growth, on ascension, on metaphysics, on everything that will serve your path of healing your beautiful life. So again, thank you everyone. I'm so grateful and I love doing this show. So thank you and blessings and namaste for a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you so much.